Hi. Say hi.
Hi everyone! Welcome back to another Pals and Paws live webinar. Today we're going to be talking about dog breeds and breed discrimination. And I have our friend Nadia here to join us. So don't mind if she takes a nap. But many people are somewhat familiar with at least one or two dog breeds, and they might even have a favorite breed in mind, and that's totally fine. So there's tons of different dog breeds out there, like golden retrievers, German shepherds, maybe huskies, that's a popular one, and of course little ones like chihuahuas are very well known. So there's tons of different dog breeds out there. It's just important that we understand that all breeds have something special to offer, and every animal has their own personality, even within the same breed. So while cat breeds are also fun and important, dog breeding is just a little bit more well known by the public, and dog breeds are unfortunately more likely to be unfairly judged by people just based on their appearance. So here at Naperville Area Humane Society, we don't breed label our animals for a number of reasons. We want people to focus on each animal's individual personality, their needs and their habits, rather than just their appearance or what breed they might be. We also don't want to incorrectly guess a dog's breed, so we need proof. Unless we are given paperwork to prove that an animal has certain breeds, and that could be either through a DNA test or maybe registration paperwork from a breeder that their previous owner gave with them. So if we don't have paperwork like that, we're not going to give them a label for their breed because we don't want to be incorrect. And most of our dogs are mixed breed dogs, and it can be really hard to guess what breeds of dogs or purebred lines of dogs are in a mixed breed dog. Mixed breed dogs are also called mutts. That's the same thing, but it can be very difficult to tell, like I said, what breeds a mutt is just based on their appearance. There's so much that makes up a dog other than the way they look, such as their personality and their health and behavior. So if we're only focusing on appearance, we're really not paying attention to a lot of other things that are important. So like Nadia here, we're not sure what breed she is, but she's very sweet, a little shy, kind of laid back for a puppy, but still has lots of energy and can be fun and playful. So it's important to get to know each dog individually and not just focus on the way that they look. We also want to make sure that if we do assume or say what breed a dog is, we need his scientific or historic proof. So such as a DNA test that would be able to give you a representation of where a dog came from. So it would break down what the test shows. So like for this hypothetical dog, Addie, it says that she has Beagle and English Springer Spaniel, as well as Bulldog and Labrador Retriever, and it kind of shows what her family tree might look like. And breeders actually track the family tree of every single purebred dog, and that's why there's a big difference between purebred dogs and mixed breed dogs. You can tell a purebred dog and what breed they are based on the way they look because breeders are trying to get them to look a certain way, right? So even though there are almost 300 different dog breeds, they all are recognized by the American Kennel Club. They're the ones who say what a dog breed is. They list different qualities such as, the way that they should look and different things that make up that individual dog breed. So they're the ones that determine exactly what a German Shepherd might look like. So for example, they say German Shepherds should have a long muzzle, pointed ears, a downward slope to their hips, long fur that's usually rich in color, most often brown with a large black section on their back. So if they're listing different qualities like this, that's called the breed standard. So they've outlined a breed standard for over 300 different dog breeds. However, there are other purebred dogs that might also have those traits or some of those traits. Like a husky isn't that far off. They also have pointed ears and a long muzzle, and then they have a white underbelly with the black section on the back. So where it gets tricky for mixed breed dogs, let's say that we have a dog that looks like this come into the shelter, where it's got the black spot on its back, but it's got a brown and white underbelly. How would we be able to tell if it's a husky or a German shepherd or a mix of both? Or maybe we have a dog like this where, you know, the pattern isn't as neatly distributed, so it makes it even harder to tell. There could be another breed altogether that's not German shepherd or husky in there. So it's really hard to tell just based on appearance what breeds a dog is made of, a mixed breed dog is made of. So the only way we would be able to find out for sure is by doing that DNA test, where it would give us a little bit of a picture of a family tree for that dog, because that's a scientific way, or breeder paperwork is that historic way to make sure that we're tracking a dog's breed and not just guessing based on appearance. So aside from incorrectly guessing a mutt's breed, another problem with focusing only on the way a dog looks is that people might make bad assumptions based on what breeds they think a mixed breed contains. And unfortunately, I'm sure some of you have heard people talk badly about a certain dog breed or type of dog. They may say something like, all of this breed of dog are bad dogs. And this is wrong for a number of reasons, but it's definitely wrong to assume about any breed. However, some breeds are more targeted than others, or people tend to focus that attention on certain types of dogs. Usually these dogs are larger in size or may look intimidating due to like having a broader chest or a big head. Rottweilers, Chow Chows, Doberman Pinschers are examples of breeds that might have those qualities, and people might assume that they look mean, but there's lots of great, Rottweilers, Chow Chows, and Doberman Pinschers. Every dog is different, so just assuming that all of a certain breed are a certain way is unfair, because every dog has their own personality, and we really want to get to know them, and it's how you treat an animal that'll help determine how they behave, right? So if an animal is treated well, then they're more likely to be well socialized and friendly to people. If they're mistreated, then they're going to be more likely to feel the need to defend themselves. So it's how you treat an animal that determines their behavior, not their breed. However, unfortunately, there is one type of dog that people tend to target more than any other, the pit bull. So when people think of pit bulls, not only is it not a dog breed, it's actually a mix of 3 different purebred dogs. So there's the British Staffordshire Terrier, American Pit Bull Terrier, and American Staffordshire Terrier. They all look fairly similar with that big head and the broad chest. They have short fur and a long tail, similar ears for the most part. However, pit bulls, when we say the term pit bull, it means that they might have a mix of any of those 3 dogs. So it could be 2 of those, it might be all 3, there might even be an extra type of breed thrown in there. So they are definitely mixed breed dogs, and it's really hard to tell a pit bull just by looking at them. Just like any other mutt or mixed breed, we don't want to guess based just on appearance. We need that evidence, that breeder paperwork or DNA test. And even though most pit bulls are very friendly and loving dogs, people assume bad things about them because they've probably heard incorrect information from friends, family, or the media. Some people assume that all pit bulls are aggressive by nature, and they say that they don't take much to be provoked, they're prone to biting humans, probably because they heard it from others or the media. They might even make ridiculous claims such as pit bulls have locking jaws, which is completely a made-up fact. Pit bulls are dogs just like any other dog. Chihuahuas, German Shepherds, they all have the same anatomy. The only animals that are capable of locking jaws are crocodiles and alligators. So people will make up facts to try and justify the misinformation that they've heard. And the media actually will report more bites from pit bulls than any other type of dog. But if you look at the statistics, all dog breeds are reported to bite people about the same. So here's a chart from the city of Toronto. And while over here there is a high bar next to German Shepherd, that's probably just because German Shepherds are a very popular breed in the city of Toronto. And then it levels off for the most part. And these 3 green bars are those 3 breeds that make up the pit bull. So they definitely are nowhere near the number of highest bites, and really overall, if you account for, how popular a breed is in a certain area, all dogs bite about the same. Meaning there's no specific dog breed that's more likely to bite than another. All dogs, have the ability to become fearful and feel the need to defend themselves. Let's see. However, there are still some people in certain cities or communities that try to ban owning pit bulls, and this is called discrimination. So they're judging based on the way an animal looks and assuming that they're going to be a certain way because of that. And unfortunately, there's discrimination with people, and it does happen with dogs too. And either way, it's wrong. We never want to assume anything based on the way that someone, a person or animal, looks. That's not fair to, understanding that everyone has their own personality, their own differences, their own backgrounds. So never judge anything based on the way that it looks. And if we assume that pit bulls are the problem, that it's only this certain breed of dog that is prone to hurting people, then that actually will put people in more danger because they think that they don't have to worry around other types of dogs. But any dog is capable of biting. Even little chihuahuas can do damage. So it's not right to only blame a certain breed of dog, or if you ban them outright, then you might think that you're safer around other dogs, and that's not the case. Not to mention, this would mean that people who own pit bulls might have to move or give up their pet to a shelter, where there are lots of animals already in needs of homes. So it wouldn't be fair to all the pit bulls that got relinquished or all the animals waiting. It really causes a lot more problems and it doesn't even solve the one it's trying to. Some places might not take it to that extreme, but they might set rules such as all pit bulls or any dog that looks like a pit bull, resembles a pit bull, will have to wear a muzzle. But this has a similar effect where if people only see pit bull type dogs wearing muzzles for the most part, they'll start to assume that it's just pit bulls that are automatically mean or have a reason to worry about. And that's another example of discrimination that will cause people to let their guard down around other dogs, and they are more likely to be bit if they're not paying attention to the signs that any dog would give that they feel the need to defend themselves. Then they're putting themselves at risk. The main factors and why a dog might bite a person is because they're scared, and the person who gets bit often did not see those warning signs. Animals will try to get away from what's scaring them. That's their first means of defense. But if they can't get away, they might start to growl, show their teeth, or make themselves look big. All of those things happen before they resort to biting. So I really recommend you guys check out my body language video if you haven't already. That should be on our Facebook as well as our website. Body language is really important to understanding how animals are thinking and feeling. And animals will always show us if they're not feeling well or they're scared and if they're likely to defend themselves. So the number one reason why a person would get bit has nothing to do with the breed or how big a size a dog it is. It really is that the person hasn't understood what the dog is trying to tell them. So the 2 most common situations that we see happen for dog bites is children playing unsupervised with those dogs. So that means a parent or an adult isn't around and children haven't learned what those animals are trying to communicate. So if they're unsupervised, they're more likely to get bit if they're under a certain age. And then people coming into the territory of an unfamiliar dog or a dog they've never met. So that dog might feel the need to protect that resource, especially if that's a strange person that they don't know, and that person might not understand that dog and their personality, and things to look for because they came into that dog's territory. So those are the two most common situations of when dog bites happen. It has nothing to do with the way a dog looks or their breed. So it's really important to remember that every dog is different. They all have their own personality. They're all special and have something to offer. The reason the way they act that they do is because of how they're raised and how they are treated. If they're well cared for and loved, then they're more likely to be well socialized and happy animals. And all dogs show the similar signs of fear, like I said, usually trying to get away from the situation, making themselves small, and then if they can't get away, they'll try to make themselves big, maybe growl or show their teeth. And any dog, whether it's a little Chihuahua or a big German Shepherd, any dog is capable of biting. And also just remember that pit bulls are just as special as any other type of dog out there. So I have a couple of fun facts that people tend to not realize about pit bulls. Back in the day, pit bulls were traditionally used as nanny dogs. So if you guys think of Peter Pan, they had a nanny dog that was a Saint Bernard, but in the late 1800s and early 1900s, there was a similar phenomenon with pit bulls in the United States. So here's a picture where the pit bull type dog is kind of sitting with the children. We don't recommend dogs babysitting people now, no matter what breed, but people did really love pit bulls back then. And in fact, during World War I, the pit bull was used as a mascot for the United States. So you can see some other breeds representing the different countries that were involved in World War I. And the pit bull was our mascot because pit bull type dogs are mostly American type breeds. And then many celebrities, everyone from Rachel Ray, Betty White, Tom Brady, Channing Tatum, Snoop Dogg, they all own pit bulls. So there's plenty of pit bull lovers and owners out there that can definitely attest to them being great dogs. And it's really how you treat a dog that's going to determine how they behave and how they respond to people. So just remember, be good pet owners. Don't ever assume based on appearance, and every dog needs love. So thank you guys for tuning in. Next week we will be moving to Wednesdays at 5 p.m. from here on out because of the school year. So just wanted to give everyone a heads up. But thanks for tuning in. Take care.